Good morning everybody, welcome to NUMB HANDS Part 2. Just in case you haven't watched my previous video, I've been suffering with numb hands on the bike for years now. It was kind of solved on my road bike. I did a bike fit with a guy in my previous hometown. I still have somewhat of a tingling sensation after long rides, but nothing major. But on my gravel bike it has gotten worse and worse actually. So bad that I did a long distance gravel ride, 320 kilometers, and I couldn't feel my fingertips 3 weeks after. The sensation has only just returned. Wild horses, and I don't mean the Rolling Stones song. I think you should be able to see them now. There they are. A lot of you watched my previous video on the numb hands. I think it's a topic that a lot of people can relate to or have had issues with, or at least experience with. Yeah, thank you for that. I really appreciate all your comments and all your tips, tricks, hints. Thank you again, because I have been trying to well, do all sorts of things, of course, to prevent the numbness, because it was actually so bad. Like I said, no feeling in my fingertips for 3 weeks. Weird, right? Yeah, and also on a typical ride, or no, I should say on a bad ride, even after 10 minutes, I sometimes struggle to shift or brake. My fingers get so numb, they are useless. And besides your tips, I also looked at more and more YouTube videos of bike fitters on the topic of numb hands. And what I've discovered, well, there's actually 3 buckets you could put the causes into. Bucket number 1 being the rider and his or her body not being strong enough, having carpal tunnel issues, shoulder issues, core weakness, stiffness in certain areas. That's bucket number 1. Then bucket number 2, of course, is components. A lot of you gave me tips on handlebars, all sorts of suspension, wearing gloves. So that's what I'm doing now since a couple days. Sneak preview or spoiler, that actually does help a little bit. And then of course the third bucket is the combination of the two, so the rider on the bike, on the components, and I'm trying to fiddle with all 3, to be honest. So bucket number 1, the human, me, I've been starting to work on, but that's gonna take time, of course. I want to lose more weight, to have less weight on the handlebars as well, of course. I've started doing core exercises again after the family holiday, and I've been doing stretching and yoga, because boy, I can't even touch my feet. You know, when I bend over, I'm so stiff. My hamstrings, glutes, lower back. I really need to work on that. So the main cause of hand numbness is usually too much weight on the handlebars. But then the question is how, why, when? No, just kidding. But why do I dump too much weight on the handlebars? I've ridden this route before in winter time, or yeah, earlier this year. It was super wet, and this is I guess what's left of it. Wasn't too much of a problem to go through. I could actually go around if I wanted to. So yeah, things are definitely drying up over here. So for bucket number 2, right, my position on the bike, me plus the bike, what I did is, well, like I said, the first objective was to get as much weight off the handlebars as possible. And according to all the YouTube bike fitters out there, you do that by raising your saddle and putting your saddle more backwards. At least that was my takeaway. So that's actually what I did. My saddle height went up by almost a centimeter. And I've put the saddle as far back as I dare to, because this, I don't know if you can still see it, but that's a little white line saying that's the maximum back of this saddle, or at least that's what I think. I think also by doing that, that was the quickest win, the big fix, because I've been riding for about an hour now this morning, no issues at all. I have ridden with this new bike position for the past 4 rides. So in total, let's say 5-6 hours plus today. Yeah, let's make it 7 then. It seems the biggest issues are gone, guys. Hallelujah. So I think I've solved the biggest bit of the puzzle by going more up and back with my saddle. The extreme hand numbness is no longer there. I can still feel my fingers after an hour of riding. There's just a little bit of a slumbering, tingling sensation, and I think there's still some fine-tuning to be done. So with the biggest issue out of the way, the too much weight on the hands, on the handlebars, I think it's a matter of fine-tuning now, and perhaps I can find that in the third bucket of the components. Of course, maybe there is some tweaking, a couple of millimeters up or down, or fore or aft, but I was also thinking maybe to try narrower handlebars again. I've bought these beautiful Ritchie Venture Max blah 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 44 centimeter handlebars, and I bought 44s not so much because I have super wide shoulders, but more for bike packing. You know, you have more space in between your shifters if you have a wider handlebar. But maybe as a tweak to have a more relaxed shoulder position, I could go back to 42s or maybe even 40s. I think to have an absolutely perfect, what's perfect, right? But to have a even better position on the bike, what I should be looking into now is how do I prevent me from shrugging my shoulders. I always notice I sit on the bike like this, like the hunchback of the Notre Dame. I don't know why I do it. Shit, I missed a turn. That's what you get when you talk to the camera. Keep missing turns. Oh shit. I'm pretty sure that car didn't see me. No worries, madam. I'm still alive. if you haven't gathered it from me stumbling through this explanation of what I did to get rid of my numb hands, I'm not a bike fitter. So this is just a guy who likes to ride his bike and is now experimenting with tips that he found on the internet. But in summary, what I did, like I said, I took weight off the handlebars, weight off the hands, by putting my saddle up by 1 centimeter, my saddle back by 0.5 centimeter. I've started wearing gloves and I'm working on my core and stretching exercises. And that's it. And then the fine tuning has to come from hopefully a bike fitting appointment that I have in a couple weeks. Cornfields always remind me of Stephen King books and movies for some reason. Is that weird? Okay, so looks like numb hands issue being tackled, getting there, on to the next issue. As many of you know, I have asthma, right? Runs in the family. My dad has it, my brother has it, everybody on my dad's side basically has it. I figured it out in 2016, quite late, and I've been having worse periods or better periods. Right now I'm actually pretty good, but you can already hear from my breathing something is off. And again, this is not a woe is me video, this is just me talking to you guys, explaining what's going on, and especially what has been going on since I signed up for that ultra endurance gravel event. Is I'm trying to take care of my body as well as I can. I'm no saint, don't get me wrong. I do like my sweets and my cookies and my whatever, but I'm trying to do my best, and in trying to do my best I also went back to my doctor about my asthma. So, doctor's appointment yesterday, and what we did was a lung test, lung capacity test. Basically how well I can breathe. Damn it. So they hooked me up to a machine, or at least I have to blow into one of those machines that some of you may know from, well, if you get stopped by police and you have to do an alcohol test. Looks a bit like that. Oh man, I should have brought my swim trunks. I actually did, but they are in the car. This looks nice. So, did that test yesterday. Turns out I have the lungs of a 70-year-old man. Jesus Christ. Yeah, what they do is they take your results and compare that to the general population. How well I breathe is around the 80% mark, 100 being a normal, healthy, breathing male of my size. Yeah, and I just, somewhere along the lines, I just lose 20%, 21% of what I could or should be inhaling and exhaling if my lungs were normal. Don't know if you can hear them, but I should be pretty close to an Air Force base. Royal Dutch Air Force is situated around here, and I think they are just playing with their fighter jets. And what the test also showed is that it's probably not even so much my lung capacity, but my windpipe. It's so restricted that the air that should be in my lungs just doesn't get there, and when it's there it has a hard time, or a really small tube, to go out of the body again. Well, you're probably asking, why didn't you use asthma medication before? I've tried all the brands basically, but most of them target your lungs and open up your lungs more. And I've always said to the doctor, well, it doesn't do shit for me. And this test shows that it really doesn't do shit for me. What we should be working on is opening up my windpipe, and apparently there's a different type of medication for that, but that takes time to you know, improve the body, improve the windpipe. I should be able to pick that medication up today and start it, use it twice a day. It's a normal inhaler, and then it should take a couple months, is what the doctor said, for me to notice anything. But hey guys, if I can improve by 20%, even if I can improve by 10%, Jesus, can you imagine just getting 10% or 20% from somewhere? Imagine getting a 20% raise in your salary. You'd be happy, right? Well, I will be happy with any improvement I can make in my lung capacity, so fingers crossed for that one. I think the moral of my story is to never be satisfied. Be happy. Be happy with what you have. Because man, I've come such a long way. A couple of years ago, I couldn't even ride my bike for 10 minutes, let alone for, what is it today, a couple of hours, and just see it as a relaxing pastime. So be happy, grateful, but always look for improvements, and that's what I'm doing. With my bike position, with my asthma, with my training, because I have so many fun things still planned that I want to do. My bucket list is huge, guys. I'll make a separate video about the plans I have for the rest of this year and for 2025. Jesus, doesn't that sound like the future? 2025, oh man, I'm getting old. Right guys, that's it for today. I have about 15 more kilometers to go, but I'll just easy cruise them back. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!